Hey YouTube, Brand Rider 1989 coming at you once again. Today is Saturday, and this evening, I wanted to do something a little different. This is not going to be a rant video. This is going to be another one of my tutorial videos. I'm not doing a gun tutorial since I've already done that, and I only have one gun. But I am going to show you another tutorial of how to maintain and clean a Kershaw Cryo speed safe knife. Now, you can follow these steps with any kind of speed safe knife, but I haven't cleaned this in a while, and I thought I would just show you the Kershaw Cryo Speed Safe knife. Now, this is a good little knife for its money. It's entirely customizable, as you can see here. Well, let me do it this way. Now, you'll see that there are four positions on either side of this knife where you can put this little grip. You can change where the grip goes. Now, I have it up here because I carry it so that when it's inside my pocket, it rides like this. That way, if I need to, I can just draw it out real quick. But you can customize it to any way you want to carry it. And it is a speed safe knife. This is not a switchblade. This is a mechanical assisted opening knife. There's not a spring in here. It's not spring assisted. It is legal to carry in, I think, well, at least in the state I live in, it's legal to carry. But all it is just that. It's not a switchblade, and I'll show you it's not a switchblade. But, yeah. Nice little speed safe knife. Now, it did have thumb studs on it, as you can see by right here. There were thumb studs on this knife originally, but I decided to take those off. And the way that you take those off is you're going to need to apply heat to the thumb stud itself, whether that's with a lighter or by setting it on a stove. And then you can take a pair of vice grips and just twist those off, because there's Loctite on them. So you're not going to be able to just twist them off with pliers or anything like that. You're going to need to heat it up first, loosen up that Loctite, and then you're going to need to do it that way. But I have one tool for all of my knife maintenance that I use, and that's this. It's a Camillus multi-tool sharpener. This thing will have all of the attachments that you're going to need to use to maintain your knife and to disassemble it for cleaning. So, again, you're not going to see my face through most of this video. So, let's do it this way. Alright? Now, here we have our knife. We're going to set this aside. We have our gun oil, bore cleaner, which I'm trying to debate. I haven't used bore cleaner on a knife, but I want to kind of see what it does. Rag for cleaning, and I decided I'm going to try using my gun cleaning brushes because I've never tried it before, but I am going to try and see what that'll do. So the first thing you're going to want to do is I always extend my knife, and then I use, for the bigger screw, I use either the T9. The T9 will work. And then you just unscrew it This is what holds the blade in. And then for the smaller ones, you use the T6. And you don't really have to unscrew both sides. You just have to unscrew the one side. Just make sure you get the screw out the whole way. Like that. And then you set all of your screws and stuff aside in the same pile. Like right here. Aside from your workspace. That way you don't lose them and you know where they are. It's going to be the same thing with all the smaller parts you're going to have. Now you'll notice that once you start taking off the screws, the parts are going to start wiggling and they're going to get real loose. That's fine. That just means you're doing it correctly. So again, we take that off. Now, the knife is completely disassembled. So then you just take out your different various studs that you're going to need to take out. And then you take the blade off. I haven't cleaned this in ages, so it's probably a mess. Yeah, this is an absolute mess. So it's going to be a while cleaning this thing. I didn't realize how messy this was. Make sure I get all my parts in my parts pile. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some gun oil. Actually, I'm going to try it with bore cleaner just because I've never used bore cleaner on a knife before. So you're going to just spray a little bit of it. About that much. And you're just going to start wiping down the knife. Make sure you can get in between all those little cracks and crevices, because that's where dirt likes to hide, in those. And then make sure you do the other side too. Bore cleaner, if you've ever used bore cleaner smells kind of nice, in my opinion. I like the way it smells. So what I like to do is, when it's all clean, I like to take the dry end of a rag and just kind of wipe all that excess stuff off. Now let's compare this with that. You can see how clean that is. This is really clean. This side's really clean. And this side isn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to next, I think I'm just going to go ahead and spray this area with the bore cleaner. And I'm just going to get all this junk out of here. Now what's in here is, all that gunk in there is white lithium. And you're going to need that white lithium in order to keep your torsion bar in good working order. Yeah. So I'm just going to use a toothpick and get all this junk. And if you watched my gun tutorial, I always use cardboard as a base for my cleaning area. I think I got it all out of there. I'm just going to run another spot of bore cleaner in there just so I can be absolutely sure. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to clean this with gun oil. Just a couple of spritzes of gun oil ought to do it. I use gun oil because I just want to make sure that I get it clean. And then I may as well just use the gun oil to clean this side. And then I'm going to go back over it with the bore cleaner. Clean the other side. Get down in here. Up over here. Just make sure you get that nice and clean. Because you don't want to not have that as clean as you can get it. So yeah, you just got to make sure you get it nice and clean. And then I like to just make sure that it's nice and dry. And then I'm going to spray some bore cleaner on this. This is sometimes a tedious process, but it's worth it because if you don't maintain your knife, it will not work properly. So there's that. Now I'm going to clean this thing up. This is the cover for the torsion bar. So that is a whole lot better than what it was when I first started. Next, I'm going to take my torsion bar and I'm going to just spray the rag again. I need to find a better spray attachment because that one just doesn't work. Then I'm just going to wipe down this torsion bar and make sure I have all that white lithium off of there. Because the old white lithium can cause problems if you're going to put new white lithium on. And then look at that. See how clean that is now? That's much better. Now, my blade is kind of dirty, so I'm just going to go ahead and spray the blade itself. And just wipe the blade down. And depending on how dirty your blade is, you're going to want to just scrub it. Over time, your knife will get scratches on it from the rubbing of the different parts of the knife. But the blade won't get any scratches from that. It'll get scratches from other places, other areas of wear and tear. So that is much cleaner than it was. Now we just got to give it a wipe down. There we go. Much cleaner. Look at that. We set that aside. And then I'm going to clean these bearings up a little bit. And by that, I'm just going to wipe them down. There it is. Kind of thought I lost the bearing there for a minute. Drop that. I'm just going to use the end of this brush just to kind of make sure that I have that as clean as I can get it. It's not going to pass the whole way through, but it should just do the job. There, that's better. This one doesn't really need, yeah, it does. But I'm not going to bother spraying it. I'm just going to clean it. So now my bearings are clean. I am, however, going to run... Well, that's too small. Well, that's actually too big. So yeah, it's too big to do that. But that's alright, because I'm not worried about it. Now, I am going to pause this video for just a second, because I do need to go grab my white lithium. I forgot that, so I'm going to need that, and I'll be right back. I'm back. Now, this is white lithium. This is a grease. It's not an adhesive, it's a grease. So what you use this for is you use it to keep your torsion bar greased up so that it's not grinding, it's not loose, that kind of stuff. So you got your straw. I'm going to give this a nice good shake. Now that should be nice and shook up. Then I'm going to slide this in there. And back, I have a dream today. You're just going to slide your torsion bar back in there like that. And then you're going to take your white lithium and just give that a good spray. Wiping off my lens or my screen here. Wasn't expecting that to do that. So now that that's done, I'm going to take this and just do that, and then I'm going to wipe this down a little bit because I think I got way too much white lithium on there. So then, now that that's done, I'm going to take my cover and just put my cover back on there. Now I'm going to wipe down the cover . And once that's on there, I'm going to wipe this down on the sides. There we go. Now that that's done, you need to find this piece right here. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to line this up right before I do this. Alright, so then you take this piece and you put it right in there like that. Then you take your back piece, which is going to be holding your blade, and you just slide it right in there like this. Then you can put your blade on. Then there's another little piece here. Make sure you put that in. That's the brace for your knife so your knife doesn't slip. Oh, but I forgot something, so I have to reset this. Before you put your blade on, once you put your back stud in, make sure you take one of your bearings and slip it on the back because you're going to need the bearing there. Then you take the other one and you slide that bearing on top. So now what you do is you just take this and you line up all of your parts. Dumb thing. Sometimes it does that. It doesn't always work out the way you want it to. So you just have to readjust it and go from there. So where did I see that other bearing? Okay, there it is. Just slide the bearing back on. Slide the knife blade back on, but I'm going to clean it up first. You know, Popcorn Sutton was a very famous moonshiner. And I love a quote of his. He says, "The only way to learn something is by doing it yourself." So where's my other bearing? There it is. Okay. Now, before you screw anything in, you're going to want to make sure that your blade, when you have it, you're going to want to make sure that it's going to go straight down in the middle. So what I like to do is, this is the hard part of doing this, because I like to make sure that I have that straight down the middle. And then while I have that thing straight down, I have to screw in this top screw so that it'll stay there. So I'm going to use my T8. There we go. That's right down the middle, right where I want it. Then you take your other screws. Take your tool. and just get that screwed in there real good. Going on a half hour of this now. Normally it doesn't take me this long, but I've done a complete field strip and a complete clean for you, so it's just a tutorial on how to do that. The more that you do it, the faster you'll be at it. But I decided to go a little bit slower, and I also made a few mess ups that I don't normally make. But, you know, it is what it is. So there's that. Now, you'll notice it's not exactly... I think I have it too tight. That's probably what the problem is. So I'm going to loosen it just a notch. There we go. That's better. Just like that. Now, I'm going to show you how I sharpen a knife. You can either do it with this attachment here, which will also sharpen scissors. Just hold it at... I'm going to say at a 45-degree angle. Just like that. And then, if you test it, make sure you wipe down any excess metal shavings. And then, I'm going to tear off a piece of this box, because I'm going to need it in a minute. So then I'm going to take it and I'm going to run it through the fine sharpener. Wow, that's sharp. Now, I'm probably going to do a fine-tune sharpen on this later. There we go. So yeah, it is sharp. But yeah, so this is sharp and it's clean. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Kershaw Cryo, made by Kershaw Knives. So anyway, I hope you've learned something, and if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments or anything like that. As far as knife laws go, I think they vary by state. So whatever state you live in, you may have to look up your knife laws. But that's been the tutorial on how to field strip, clean, and properly lubricate your Kershaw Cryo or pretty much any speed safe knife. This has been Brand Rider 1989. Signing off. Enjoy.